Another game against Andersson.
Andersson was seeking revenge himself against me because we played some other games where the results weren't very good for him, and that was the game from our important match, the Olympic Games from Zigen in 1970
Romania against Sweden.
and it was very important. It was decisive game. The team who could win between Romania and Sweden was qualified for the Olympic final, and therefore the game was decisive. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
was for
it's
the
6,
final.
9, 6, yeah. Knight f3, c5. Okay, we have again a Tarrasch position, as in my game against Parma. Almost the same.
Yes.
Knight c6, yeah, a3, and now he took himself in d4. That is the difference, another variation. Yeah, I took d4. Yeah, bishop e7, and now c5. The only way to play for win is like this. C5. We have a majority on the queen side, and later on you want to play bishop b5 and control the central square from e5. That is the idea for white. So he played knight e4, queen c2, the best move, and now he played f5. Well, instead of f5, if he tried queen a5 instead of a5, he could play, for instance, immediately queen a5. After queen a5, white is clearly better, playing simply rook b1. Rook b1, and after knight takes c3, b4 recaptures with the queen in c3 and has a clearly better position for white. Yeah, that was the alternative. So instead of this, he played f5. Yeah, f5, and now bishop f5. This we have the idea that I told you before. Bishop b5, bishop d7, castle. Yeah, castle also, and now bishop f4. Okay, we control the square from e5. He plays queen e8. This is the idea, to have some counterplay on the other side. But now white is playing, and we took in c6, of course. Bishop takes, and knight e5. Okay, knight e5. Everything is very simple, and we want to have a piece on e5 always. Yeah. So he played bishop f6, f3. Now you have to decide yourself what do you want here. If you let me to have a piece always in e5, the advantage for white is very clear. Yeah. So if he plays, for instance, instead of g5, knight g5, after rook f to e1, the position is very unpleasant for black. So he played g5. That at least after g5, black tries to have some good counterplay. But by giving a pawn. He loses a pawn by force after move g5. So now I took in e4, he took in f4, and now I took in c6. He has to take back now. And e5, we close the center, and we capture the pawn from f4. But if that is enough or not, we'll see. He has to give the pawn. Now we took in f4.
He's preparing an attack.
Well, but he lost a pawn. I mean, he gave a pawn for some attacking chances. Rook f3. Yeah, he took. We took. And rook g7. Okay, he lost the pawn for the moment. It's not important, the pawn, because you don't lose by force or something. And at least you have the open line and some counterplay with black, So rook b8. Now, if you want something, you have to play b4, because if you don't play b4, he was trying to do rook b3 himself, and after rook b3, he controls the position and threatens rook b3 and queen b8 or queen g8, and then in both cases, black has enough play, So, okay, so now a5. Now you have to decide. If you want something, you have to take in a5, but now the B line is open. B line is open for black. So, okay, rook b5, king h1. I mean, you have to play queen to b8, because the threat was to come on the other side with the move g4, like in our game. But at least now it seems that it's not good, because you control the B line and you have enough play for black, I mean, it's enough counterplay. Okay, so after queen b8, still G4 is the only way to do it. I mean, to play for win, G4. But it seems very dangerous against the white king right now. So rook B2, queen F1, the only moves, queen F1. And now queen B3. What to do now? It seems that is unclear, the situation, A6, very good move. And now queen C2. It seems black is even better, maybe.
Looking very dangerous.
Looking very dangerous. Now queen H3, the only move, but very good one. And now rook takes G4. Now again, what to do? If you take in G4, maybe you can lose with white, So the only good move is A7. Now the rook has to go back, because if you take in F4, you're lost. Queen and rook G1 check and finished, So rook to G8. Okay, now rook G1. Exactly on time. White has enough, is better again, all the game he was better. But now he's trying to oblige you to take a decision. You have to take in G1 and then capture later on the rook B1 check. Now rook F1 is forced, takes, and now queen there. And now you have to move something with white. What? The only good move, we are both in terrible time table here. And I played the best move, queen F4, of course. Queen F4. And now you have to take a pawn in A3 or in A7. It's unbelievable, but it's much better to take the pawn from A3, not from A7. The pawn from A7 is very dangerous, but it's better to take the other pawn. He took in A7, the normal move.
Yes.
And he took in A7. After queen H6, it's completely Zugzwang for black, and he resigned. Because if he takes the A3 pawn now, he's mate in one move in F8.
Yes.
If he plays queen G7 check, white takes, and A4 wins by force,
Yeah, so here is checkmate.
Yeah.
And
if he plays, for instance, king G8, he loses with check the pawn from E6 and then in F5 and so on, completely winning.
Yes.
And if he plays queen E7 or queen F7, after queen F6 check, immediate resign.
So if he plays
queen F6 check.
Here?
Yeah, queen F6 check and winning immediately.
Why? Because
he has to take now. So you take it there. We have two passed pawns. Now king G8 the only move, and A4 wins immediately. A4, we go to, we have a queen later on. Yeah. Very interesting game, very sharp like this, and finally all the time is much better for white, but it was enough to win because in the last moment he decided to take the wrong pawn, But it's very difficult to explain why. But at the first, when you look like the position like this, of course the pawn from A7 is very dangerous.
Yeah.
You take the pawn. If you take the pawn, you are lost immediately.
If
you
you
take
took
the
the
other
other
pawn, you have a good hope to give perpetual. Maybe you give a lot of checks, and maybe it was a draw.
So he still couldn't take his revenge.
No, he couldn't take the revenge, and not only this, but later on he lost some other two important games. A little bit later. Yes.
I see.
The games we demonstrated before, in Manila and in Las Palmas or Palma de Mallorca, I don't remember. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some beauty prizes like this also. Yeah.
Nice.
So, it was interesting, of course.
Yes. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.